Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome everyone to the 6th Annual CEW Plus Advocacy Symposium. My name is Sandra Idarosa. I'm the Associate Director at the CEW, Center for Education for Women. I'm sorry to say that Tiffany Mara, our director, is not going to be able to join us today, so I am going to read her remarks in her absence. So just got these this morning, so please be patient and kind. I'm very excited to tell you and share with you some of the things we do at the center, but rather than tell you what we do, I'm going to share some recent quotes that highlight the impact that we have on those we serve in our community. This is a quote: "In a world filled with struggles, demotivation, and agony, persistence sounds to be very challenging. But you at CW Plus made persistence not an adoption, but a must. Your empowerment, support, and all the work you have done for women lights a world of hope, influence, and progress. Your mission is one of immensely high impact, with heart beating inside it, where the beats thrive and continue with every woman you empower. Words cannot suffice to thank you enough. You are the main reason I am still enrolled in this program. You are the main reason for making a family dream come true. You are the main reason for making this challenging doctoral journey possible." And another one: "U of M is very large, and I am tremendously grateful for the exposure and learning experience, but due to its size, it was quite easy to feel lost, especially as you grapple with the financial challenges of being a student. There was a sense of being heard, a sense of belonging that I felt at CW Plus, and most importantly, the relief that the emergency funds provided for me at that time when I needed them the most. The relief cannot be explained in words. I'm immensely grateful for CW Plus at the University of Michigan. Our doors are open to all students, staff, faculty, and community members. Our specialty is supporting those who encounter educational and career obstacles on their path to and experiences within the university community. It is through our strong partnerships that we are able, as a small unit, to have a significant impact on individuals and to create systemic, lasting change at the university. We are a strong and mighty team, and as you will see throughout the day. And we pinch hit, as you can see right now. Would all CW Plus staff please stand to be recognized? As I, as I reviewed the various sessions being offered today, the theme of partnership reemerged over and over again. I hope you will listen for the partnership strategies that individuals utilize to engage across differences, identify common values, and create an action plan. Tonight's event will close with our Cristobal Kotalabali Versinge lecture. I'm so sorry, I probably butchered that. Aviola Akidami Folabi. And we always just call her Aviola at our office, so I've never actually had to say her name, her last name out loud. A Nigerian lawyer and women's rights activist who has mastered the art of meaningful, aligned partnerships across Nigeria's 36 states and one federal capital territory. I hope you will stay for her lecture at 4:30 as Aviola's wisdom, confidence, kindness, and passion combine to make her truly astonishing and inspirational. Throughout the day, you will have the chance to learn from many of our campus partners and from our experts in their fields. Ask questions, engage in dialogue. Today is about learning from each other, being in community, and rejuvenating our collective effort to create change after what has been a few tumultuous years. And this is the first in-person event of the symposium we've had in, 2 years, I think. So this is something to celebrate. Also like to remind people that individually voting is our most powerful way to make our voices heard by government officials. I'm very grateful that the League of Women Voters are with us today as they work to defend our democracy by empowering voters. If you're not currently registered, please stop by the League of Women Voters table on your way to the workshops outside our doors here. A very special thank you goes to TIAA, our corporate sponsor for today's event. This year, TIAA launched the Retire Inequality campaign timed with its 50th anniversary of Title IX, reminding us that disparities continue to exist by race and gender in salary and in retirement. This Retire Inequality campaign is the inspiration for our roundtable discussion, where I hope you will bring your experiences and insight into the conversation to inform how we can create change related to financial wellness together. It is now my honor to introduce you to Ann Owen, Managing Director of the TIAA Institute's Higher Education Program, who will provide us with points to consider for our roundtable discussions. In Ann's work, she builds and shares knowledge that is important to higher education leaders about drivers of change and innovative solutions and strategies. She was part of the founding team of the TIAA Institute and has shown how strong and inclusive leadership can generate throughout leadership that creates business impact and forges influential relationships. Ann, thank you for being here today. I welcome you to make your remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone. I have to say, what a beautiful campus, what a beautiful room, what a beautiful day. I'm just really delighted to be here all the way from, you guessed it, New York, probably, no doubt, by my accent. As was just said, I'm here as a representative of the TIAA Institute, which is basically a think tank within TIAA. And we focus on financial wellness issues, organizational effectiveness. Basically, our work is very well aligned with both the values of CEW+ and with the TIAA campaign that was referenced, launched early this year, that we refer to as #RetireInequality, which I think is a clever play on words that brings together TIAA's core mission, the provision of secure retirements, and its deep commitment to equal treatment of all people. I've worked at TIAA for over 30 years, and I've been there in part because it is a mission-driven company that truly puts its values where its mouth is, if that makes sense. I have just 4 minutes left up here. I just want to make 3 key points. I am from New York, so I can speak very quickly. First, 39%, our research shows that 39% of US adults say that the economic uncertainty caused by COVID-19 has motivated them to increase their financial literacy. So with all the bad things, people are feeling like, I better pay more attention. This figure is significantly higher among both Black and Hispanic Americans at 53% and 55% respectively. Second, while the numbers could be higher, there is still good news. Our research shows that levels of financial literacy are closely correlated to levels of financial well-being. That link holds true across gender, across race, and across generations. Not surprising necessarily, but it does underscore the value of taking time to build your confidence and understanding of core personal financial concepts. The ability to make sound, appropriate financial decisions does make a difference in your financial future. And third, the ability to make sound financial decisions can be greatly facilitated by meeting with a financial professional for advice and guidance, or by participating in financial education offerings. In fact, our research, our Personal Finance Index research, which is a survey, shows that those who received financial education answered 60% of a set of personal finance questions correctly, versus 46% of those who did not receive financial education. So you truly do know more if you take the time to attend a financial education program, to pick up some resources, to visit with a financial counselor. Getting guidance does not have to come at a high cost. Just your participation in today's luncheon, roundtables, are a step forward. And U of M makes personal financial guidance and counseling available to you in a variety of ways, particularly through the CEW Plus organization. Take advantage of as many of the opportunities as possible. If you're like me, I know you feel like the year is already almost over, but as of this Friday, there will still be 100 days left in 2022. 100 days, that's a lot of time to make some changes. Why not make a commitment to yourself to sign up for an appointment with a counselor, with an on-campus financial advisor? Why not pick up some materials and make a point of reading something once a week for these next 100 days? Find out what you can start doing now to pave the way for a better financial future and to retire in equality. So I'll just say best wishes for continued success, and I hope you have a wonderful program today. Thank you for allowing me to be here.
Pretty short. Anne, thank you for your remarks and to help frame today's roundtable discussions. I'm now honored to introduce Loretta Thomas, who will be our facilitator for today's discussion. Loretta retired from U of M in 2019 after 46 years of service to the university, including serving as the Associate Vice President for Human Resources. Loretta is currently an executive in residence for the Center for Positive Organizations and president of the American Research University's Human Resource Institute. I don't know where you have all the time and energy. Loretta is a U of M icon, and I can personally attest to that. Like Madonna, Beyonce, and Prince, you just have to say her name and people will know who you're referring to. For all of us who've been inspired by Loretta, please join me in giving her a round of applause and welcoming her today.
Good afternoon, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. I appreciate it. And it's so good to be back, to see some of you that I got to be at this symposium in the past, learning how to increase our advocacy skills. And for those of you, how many of you, is this your first symposium? You will leave inspired in the advocacy role like you've never been before. How many of you have seen Hamilton, the Broadway show? Oh, okay, so half of you, it's coming back to Detroit at the Fisher. And it is something that everyone should see. For those of you that have seen it, how many of you remember the scenes and the reprise? I want to be in the room where it happens. Oh, yes. Yes, good memories there. Well, I had recently the opportunity to be in the room where it happens. The TIA president and CEO was visiting campus, and Tiffany Mara and her team created a conversation opportunity for us. So the top leadership locally of TIAA, some people on the Leadership Council of CEW, members of the CEW staff, and myself, and a few others, gathered, they started us early. I think it was 7:15 or 7:30 in the local TIA office. I just want to share this story because partnership is so important and where great ideas can come from conversations that change the world. So the president was sharing with us retire inequality, and then we moved to personal stories about what we knew about generational wealth. What did we know about financial literacy? What is the language of that? And who wants to go to a class on financial literacy anyway? We were quite concerned about the data that has come from the TIA Research Institute. And I would add to my introduction the honor of being a Research Institute fellow. So lots of things came together. And we said, what more can we do together? Tiffany suggested that the Advocacy Symposium could be part of a long-term strategy to make a difference in this. All of us have participated in classes and coursework, maybe, And then we asked, what were your conversations at home? My parents were entrepreneurs, and what I remember was, as a child, having to take pennies and make Christmas present rolls out of them, and being told to always pay the mortgage first, make sure you're up to date on the bank. But most of our lessons were how to borrow from Peter to pay Paul. And so over time, I became much more interested in how to sustain my own family and to leave something and invest in children and grandchildren. And I got to share that in this room where there were powerful conversations and people that could make a difference. So that's the background of your advocacy work this afternoon. We're going to ask you to look at some case studies. You may feel free to do 1, 2, or 3 of the case studies as you enjoy your lunch. But what we want to get from you is information, ideas, tips, inspiration, motivation around making a difference in what we've called today financial literacy. We're even looking for a new nomenclature that will invite more people, our children and grandchildren, to be interested in this topic. We also know that there have been lots of family conversations, partner conversations about savings went up during the pandemic. Thank goodness, because then inflation hit. We know that Ann Arbor has cost itself out of the market for many, many people that would add perspective, diversity, commitment, community, citizenship to our greater Ann Arbor community, and we're concerned about that. So there are lots of things for you to talk about today. We will seriously, and I mean that, I will read every facilitator summary because CEW has asked me to continue to be involved in this topic, and it's one that I truly care about. So at your tables, there are 3 case studies. I'm going to divide the room and ask you to start on one. You may end up staying on that one, and that's fine. But if you finish your conversation on that one, feel free to go to another one. Each table has a facilitator and a note taker. If you would raise your hands, because we may have a table or 2 that will need a volunteer. So if you're at the table and you're the facilitator and our note taker, could you raise your hand? And I'll see that all tables are covered except this one and that one. So we'll need volunteers at your table for facilitation and note taking. There are instructions on how we'd like you to do that in the center of your table. There is a Ziploc bag for you to put your notes in, and we will collect those. We also know that ideas begot other ideas, and we don't want to lose any. So there are Post-it notes on your table, and if the conversation has moved on, but you connect an idea to another idea, please record it on a Post-it note. If there are things that don't seem relevant to the current conversation, but you'd like to bring them to our attention as we continue this work, write those on the Post-it note. If you just want to say hi and tell me what you've been doing since 2019, that's okay too. I'd love to stay in touch. Are there any questions about what you're going to do? We're going to give you 30 minutes to spend some time generating ideas. We love it. We love it. We love it. Okay. You want to raise your hand? We'll be walking around and available to answer questions. I will also be available to answer questions as you do your work. So if these 4 tables, 1, 2, 3, 4, would start on case 3. Start on case 3. If these 3 tables, 1, 2, and 3, would start on case 2. Remember, that's a start. Stay there if you wish for the 30 minutes, but then you can go on. With the table in the far right, where I think I saw some wonder people from the League of Women Voters, one of our partners, this table and this table, would you start on case 1? And stay there if you like, but move on. Are there any questions? Seeing no questions, we want you, every single person, to participate. Everyone has something to contribute. And I know the facilitators will make sure that happens. Enjoy your conversations. 30 minutes from now, we will reconvene.
All right, folks, it's time to wrap up the table conversations, and I'm going to turn it back over to Larita. But if you do have extra thoughts, comments, burning things to say, remember that there are some Post-its in the middle of your tables. Please feel free to utilize them and share those extra thoughts. We welcome them.
Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to have to call on my scouts because we're still talking. Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. We want to have a couple of call-outs from some of the tables because we know that an idea that a call-out may share, may suggest another idea at another table. Again, another use for your Post-it notes. If the idea or the suggestion or the recommendation has been made by an earlier table and it's on yours, just go on to another one because we just have a few minutes to do this. And we, again, want to hear from you, and we want what we hear to stimulate other conversation. So let's start with case study number 3 and the financial wellness linked to financial literacy case. Which table started with case 3? Right over there. That's right. Okay, could we have a volunteer facilitator or note taker share 2 things that resulted in the responses to the questions we asked you? Just share some themes about where your conversation went. And I know this person, so I'm proud of you for volunteering. Go right ahead.
If you were to design your own financial literacy app, what behaviors might you want to build? So we talked about at U of M how there was an LC and there were incentives for participating and clicking in apps or attending classes. We thought that might encourage people here at U of M to participate in courses in financial literacy if there was some incentive for them to do it. Another question that we talked about is how do you term this type of work that we're thinking about embarking on? Financial literacy? Is it financial wellness? Is it financial empowerment? And from some recent grads, the mention was, tell us what you're really talking about. It's money, and what are the specific things about money? Let's not try to use jargon. Let's not say financial literacy. Is this budgeting? Great. Is this something other topic? The terms need to be specific for people to know if they want to participate or if they need that learning.
Thank you so very much. All right, over there, can you add to the conversation?
Yeah, so I think a theme that came up for us was, first of all, just the importance of understanding financial wellness. Why is it important to have financial literacy? So this awareness of understanding it. And with that, the importance of the app to be able to assist you in saving, assist you in being financially literate, it should be the purpose of these apps. To prevent you from making poor decisions, to be individualized to your needs, emphasize saving, what to do when there's a downturn, to be helpful in all of these ways. And then also there is this bit about security. Some people are maybe afraid about using the app because of the security issues, or maybe it's just not the way that they learn how to be financially literate, and so they already have ways that they deal with their financial management
Thank you so very much. We were concerned about how we could deliver through the technology and what audience would that meet and what their interests were. So thank you for your contributions. One more, case study 3, volunteer. Thank you.
So our people discussed how apps may encourage users or nudge users to save small amounts of money from foregoing spending, foregoing small spending habits that can build for large peer-pressure funds, such as for college or saving for retirement. At the same time, our people did acknowledge that in certain situations, such as graduate students who are not necessarily in a situation where these sort of small measures are enough for them to kind of contribute to retirement account because lack of income.
Thank you for expanding that. Moving on to case 2, and we had that in the center, pandemic savings and financial anxiety. Who would like to volunteer to share a theme that came from your group to the 3 questions? Yes, thank you. A little bit louder, please.
A lot of our discussions were about just through the natural progression of the pandemic, a lot of things going to be more social, going out to eat, just naturally completely after the transition is slow and people just don't go out as much anymore because of traveling people like happening because they just like working a lot of travel because of that. So some small habits like
Thank you. Thank you so much. Behaviors we may want to sustain and how we could go about implementing that. Case number 1, retirement inequality, was on this side of the room. Could we have a volunteer to share some of the themes from the many questions on case 1? Yes.
We'll talk a little bit about, since we are a very diverse table, we talk a little bit how different people may have different views on sort of finance or retirement plans. Maybe some of us, when we talk about finance, we think about maybe student loans. Some of us talk about pension, 401k, and others maybe talking about their food stamp, or maybe their bread for the dinner, or maybe someone thinking about a bank account, someone thinking about cash in their hands. So different people may have very different views onto this. And the other thing we talk about is how difficult it might be for us to actually change the environment, change the inequality in this field, because we are all individuals with our own power, which is relatively insignificant compared to the question itself. All we can do is start from around us and try to build up on everybody else's effort, and maybe one day we'll achieve the ultimate goal for us.
Thank you. Those stories you captured about people's view of wealth and managing money, that's very important to us. Okay, this table, would you like to add?
Perspectives and coming from different backgrounds. A couple things that stood out to me was some inequality with the treatment of finances in families between men versus males and females. And also discussions about starting your life, when you move out of your parents' house and you're, on your own, knowing that investing is important, but with the cost of living being so high, it's so difficult to, be thinking about saving money when you're retired.
Thank you so much. And we know that that's foremost on many minds right now. We have 1 minute left. Does any table want to comment on one of the cases they didn't? Yes, Deb.
There's a lot of resources, but there are also a lot of people that can help you. But the other thing is that look at it as something that's fun to do. And for someone like me, idea about making your financial liability and learning as a fun thing, I think is a real good way of changing your mindset about financial stability.
Making it fun. I'm not surprised that your table. Wonderful. 30 seconds. Any other idea that was not presented that you really want to share? Well, thank you so very much. I know that our work will be empowered, inspired by your work today. Please make sure your notes are in the Ziploc bag. We will also collect any Post-it notes that you attach to that Ziploc bag. Thank you. You are even greater advocates now, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Loretta, and thank you to TIAA for inspiring such good conversations and ideas. So round of applause for Loretta and for everybody here from TIAA. Thank you.